Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. In this video I will provide you with about 7 articles exposing what I think it is the Western hypocrisy and inconsistency. Why do I do this? Not because I hate the West, which is again, the West is not a monolithic organization or club. They try to make it that way. There's many nuances and flavors in the West. But I don't like when our leaders tell us that we should obey the law, otherwise we're going to be punished. But they are acting selectively in dispersing justice all around the world. And I will show you, for instance, in one example from Australia, and the rest are from the United States of America and the Trump's administration. I will start with this hypocritical statement coming from the Americans. And this, when I say Americans, I'm not saying the American public, even though we are responsible for the elected officials that we put in office. We voted through the electronic voting machines, if you know what I mean. So here it is. Ukrainska Pravda. Sign of healthy democracy is willingness to have elections even in time of war, says Trump's envoy. They're talking about Ukraine, obviously. Keith Kellogg, U.S. President Donald Trump's special envoy for Ukraine and Russia, has stated that Ukraine should be prepared to hold elections during wartime, asserting that the ability to do so is a sign of a healthy democracy. My first point, the United States of America should not have anything to say about how other countries run their domestic things. If they're a dictatorship, that's their country. If there's democracy, that's their country. If they're a monarchy, like, tyrannical monarchy, they should be it. Like Great Britain, for instance. Oh, no, my bad. All right, so you mind your own business. That's the way we're taught here in America. My family, I do whatever, man. Do I harm you personally? No, that's a different story. You don't like what I'm doing? I don't like what you're doing. What are we going to do? Well, if I'm stronger than you, obviously, under the rules of the world and nature, I will pam, and you do what I tell you to do. Bend over and let's go. No? Oh, no, we're not taught that way. We're taught that there are laws, and we have to abide them. So again, the Americans tell the Ukrainians, another state, mind you, a sign of a healthy democracy, like ours, you mean? Okay, so again, how is that? Whatever calls the cattle black or something. Nevertheless, my friends, that's the way it is. When we have an interest, these guys, we have to, those guys and we, it's a fight here. They have to keep us right here working like hamsters on that little, or like rats or mice on that spinning wheel. So whenever, they say, oh, we want to get our interest in that country, we will find something. You didn't do it right. And then we are going to come over and fix it for you, all right, with our interest. All right, that's the first one. Second one, I will show you this. Part of the free world. Australia enacts mandatory prison terms for these salutes. Mind you, this is the Roman salute that these baboons implemented for about 15 years. But, I don't know, about 1,500 years, we had the other one. But hey, it's not like that. If you say that's false, remember these guys when they came with this salute, okay, hello, how are you doing? When they came with that thing, they copied the Romans. So however you take it, oh, the Romans, the Roman salute was just portrayed in the medieval times in, 1740 something in a painting where you have those guys with the Roman salute, and we don't know, there's no evidence. Well, why don't you go and see the statues with their hands raised in a certain way? So that's the Roman salute. Don't fucking change my culture. I don't try to fucking change yours. So go back to your camels and leave me the fuck alone. All right? Or I know where horses, whatever you got, if you know what I mean. So that's what it is, my friends. It's a mandatory thing. So I learned, and I've been told again by these hypocrites, that you're a free person and you have freedom of expression. I guess Australia doesn't have it. I'm not saying this because it's this particular reason. I guarantee you, Australians did not ban the communist hammer and the sickle or whatever that is. No, they didn't do that. Guarantee you that. Why is that? Did these guys produced more deaths and damage than the other ones? I don't think so. And even if they did, why didn't you ban, I don't know, for instance, certain kind of denominations where you have mass murderers in the name of certain religions, for instance? Why don't you do that? Well, someone selects what we're supposed to hate and what we're supposed to close our eyes. So inconsistency, all right? But they turn it from the Roman salute into this kind of salute. Why? Who did that? I, as a Roman, I wouldn't ban that on my own culture. Who would do that? Someone who hates that. Who's that? Well, it's an ideology, Emily, you don't understand. Well, I don't think so. I think you don't understand. So this is the freedom in Australia. So don't miss the point, my friend. So before you comment, my point is not defending that particular thing. It's something bigger. Defending the freedom to say and do whatever. If you don't hurt someone, if you hurt my feelings, we're not going to go to that one. That's a subjective thing. You hurt my feelings all the time, feelings when I see your face. All right? So that means I should ban you. So it's not about the particular thing. And besides, that's my culture. Out of it. Oh, Australia. No. Australia is owned. All right? So this is the freedom in the free world, my friends. But you tell your children in America, for instance, every child could become the US president. If you say and do the right thing. Next one. I'm going to show you the hypocrisy of this garbage. This is selective justice coming from the Trump administration. You know why? Yeah, because we have democracy and freedom of speech, but we elected the selected one. He was selected for us to confirm his selection through our voting with the voting machines. So, but hey, we tell everybody healthy democracy is if you guys allow that. Yeah, okay. Now, fuck off. How about that one? But hey, nevertheless, Trump sanctions ICC, International Criminal Court of The Hague. Washington is punishing the Hague-based court for issuing charges against Israeli political leaders. You got it? And here is the order states that the ICC is targeting. Now it's targeting. When Putin was issued an arrest warrant, it was not targeting Putin. It was A-OK. Targeting of Israeli officials has set a dangerous precedent by exposing Americans to harassment, abuse, and possible arrest, thereby endangering them. What Americans? Netanyahu and Gallant, whatever his name is, are Americans or something? The ICC has, without a legitimate basis, says that, because it is not a signatory, but others are, asserted jurisdiction over and open preliminary investigations concerning personnel of the United States and certain of its allies. Why do you care, homie? Including Israel. I mean, Israel is better than, and has further abused its power by issuing baseless arrests. How do you know it's baseless? How do you know that? Did you investigate that? Arrest warrants targeting Israeli Prime Minister boss Benjamin Netanyahu and former Minister of Defense Yoav Gallant. The order reads, are we the United States of America, or who are we? Who are we? We target an international institution which has, I don't know, about 104 or 110 members around the globe. Not one like the United States of America and Israel. Targets that. I was against when this guy said, you know what, we're going to issue an arrest warrant for Putin. I was like, you have no jurisdiction over Russia. You can do your little club voting over there. You can issue whatever. Russia is not a signatory. It's going to be baseless. Remember how the Americans said if Putin travels to Brazil, signatory of the ICC court, they should arrest him. If Putin travels to South Africa, to Ramaphosa, South Africa should arrest him because the ICC warrant. If Putin travels to Mongolia, which he did, he must be arrested. Remember, we were all happy about it. We agreed with the jurisdiction of the ICC. In this way, selectively, is baseless. What do you mean baseless? Do you have any evidence? It's baseless. It's baseless. No, it's not baseless. But anyway, this is again America and the West. Is it right? No, that tells you who's in charge. Next one. And we find this baboon, her name is von der Leyen, who says this. Von der Leyen backs ICC, calls for justice after Trump sanctions. She is probably on her way out, and the club did not get her. The eye of Sauron, remember, did not send its orcs to get her yet. You know who those guys are? Exactly. Those are the Benjamins and all those guys. The ICC ensures accountability for international crimes and gives victims a voice worldwide. It must be able to continue its fight against global impunity freely, she wrote. She's out. She's gonna lose everything she's got. I guarantee you that. They're gonna come after her. Von der Leyen added that Europe will always stand for justice and respect for international law. Really? 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 Well. Why don't you bother to just Google, click a few clicks and find out how they state for justice and respect for international law. Like, I don't know, like freezing other countries' assets under international law. That's all legal. When we do it to them, when they do it to us, no. Remember when that imbecile from European Union, the German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, visited Putin right when the war started, and he went over there and he lectured Putin on live over there. He said, well, the war in Ukraine, I think it was, is the first time when we have war in Europe after the Second World War. And Putin said, "Niet, you're an imbecile. Remember the Yugoslavia war that you and the NATO implemented? That's what the fucker did." So again, European Union international law. That was an illegal war on Yugoslavia. How about Libya? How about Iraq? How about Afghanistan? How about Syria? Off. All right? But she will get out. Why? Because she's dealing with the Eye of Sauron. You know who that is? I made some videos about 1 hour ago. Yeah, 1 year and a half ago regarding pointing out if you get in the Eye of Sauron that Trump avoids at all costs, then there's going to send its orcs to get you. Hey, and the European Union has no power. When Trump says, boo, everybody's like scattered like little birds, like pheasants on a field. The new voice of Ukraine. ICC defies Trump's sanctions, vows to pursue justice worldwide. Good for you. Israel will get out of that in an instant, and maybe it doesn't have any jurisdiction. Remember when Netanyahu said, I'm going to go and visit that camp in Poland, a concentration camp, and mark 80 some years of liberation by the Soviet army, and the Russians were not invited, by the way. They shouldn't be. That should be their celebration, not ours. Their little show, not ours. But anyway, you got to do what the Eye of Sauron says. So then you have these guys. They're going to pursue. You're going to be defunded, and Trump is going to do this to you. Ping. He's going to ignore you. Like they have been ignoring everything in the Middle East for the past at least 40 years. 40 years. Let's say from 1960s, when the Americans really got in after Lyndon Johnson stopped the saving of the USS Liberty. Remember that one? Lyndon Johnson called off the American airplanes going to save USS Liberty from an attack from one of our allies in the Middle East. Remember that one? He did. He called, and then, shh, everybody, don't say anything. It was an accident. No, it wasn't. Next one. Here it is. USAID media payments could be biggest scandal in history. So what happened? The government, through the USAID, was funding private, supposedly, free media in the West. So the government funded. But they talk always about Sputnik and Russia Today as being the Russian government-funded government media. BBC is funded by the British government. What are you talking about? PBS, NPR. And find out that these guys got some help, with some little help from my friends. The White House has cancelled government subscriptions to Politico amid state funding accusations. So Politico was getting money from us to propagandize us. In the name of whom? The government, the guys in charge of us. Billions of dollars have been stolen at USAID and used to pay for positive media coverage of Democrats. It doesn't matter if it's Democrats or Republicans. Should not happen. But in the hypocritical West, it is okay if we do it. If they do it to us, it's not okay. US President Donald Trump has claimed the White House has also announced that it will stop subsidizing, quote unquote, the political media outlet. It shouldn't be subsidized whatsoever. The administration of Donald Trump initiated significant changes to the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, ordering a near total freeze on billions of dollars worth of foreign aid in a bid to realign the agency. All right, American first. Trump took the social media on Thursday to warn that the biggest scandal in history was brewing after White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt acknowledged that the American taxpayer money has been used to subsidize government subscriptions to political and other media outlets. Subscription to Political Pro, a premium legislative and regulatory tracking service used by multiple government agencies, are reported to cost up to $10,000 annually. And I'm quoting, "Looks like billions of dollars have been stolen at USAID and other agencies, much of it going to the fake news media as a payoff for creating good stories about the Democrats. The left-wing rag known as Politico seems to have received $8 million," Trump wrote. Politico retorted that it has never been beneficiary of government programs or subsidies. Well, what else? And that the overwhelming majority of subscriptions came from the private sector. All right, so let's see what's going on here. Russia Today, White House orders termination of all media contracts, Axios reports. All right, very good. It shouldn't be any. The apparent decision comes after Elon Musk's agency uncovered millions of taxpayers' dollars spent on a political subscription. So Elon Musk, the bad guy. Elon Musk is allowed to do these things until Elon Musk is going to hit the eye of Sauron, which he did. He did at one point, and then he went to that camp in Poland with Ben Shapiro. Remember that one? All right, so he hit it, but he dodged that. That was the first warning shot coming from the eye of Sauron. So right now, he's going to be allowed to do a lot of things for us until he's going to deal with the funding, with the financial, American financial. He's not going to have access to that. That goes towards that particular entity or with the Federal Reserve. Once Musk is going to touch that, he's going to get not a warning shot. He's going to get a direct hit. I guarantee you, from the eye of Sauron. That's Elon Musk. U.S. President Donald Trump, White House, has ordered the General Services Administration, a key agency that assists other government departments, to cancel every single media contract, according to an email obtained by Axios. Got it? All right. That's the way it is, my friends. Here are the ones. BBC. So according to Axios, a White House official wrote that the GSA on Thursday requesting, and I'm quoting, "GSA team, please do two things. Pull all contracts for Politico, BBC, E&E, Politico Sub, and Bloomberg." That's another eye of the Sauron, another Zelensky Stein in New York. "Pull all media contracts for just GSA. Cancel every single media contract today for GSA only." Got it? Excellent, my friends. Exa-fucking-land. So, this is the free media that there's still baboons out there watching CNN, MSNBC, Fox News to a certain extent, and others. And they say, "Oh, CNN said that." Nothing. I get nothing out of it. I mean, when I watch CNN, I watch just to contrast and see the garbage, how big the garbage is. I'm not saying they always lie, but for me, how many times do you need to be lied to realize that source should not even listen to it? Again, because there's certain information they will provide to you that you don't have time to search, to do your research, to see is it true or not. Therefore, you're going to spend too much time, non-reliable at all. But people still watch it. Free people, right? No, you're not free people, because you're not supposed to express yourself in a certain way because some other people said you should not. Why? It's offensive to some. Or whatever it is. Next one. And the last one. Trump suspends Russian oligarchs' hunt. Well, I suspect this is, again, because of the eye of the Sauron. I suspect that the Russian oligarchs are, I don't know, like, how do you call that? Abramovich? You know what I mean? You understand my hint? It's going to be these Abramoviches and Bergsteins and these guys, they're going to be, he stopped that after Netanyahu came and say, "Hey, buddy, you're gonna have that beautiful Riviera of the Middle East in Gaza after you relocate. That's a euphemism for something else. All right. New U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi has disbanded a task force targeting Russian elites and redirected its resources to fight drug cartels. Great, excellent. But if this would be just because we say, you know what, we're going to just go do what we do for ourselves, I don't think so. Let's look at the justification. The U.S. Justice Department under Attorney disbanded task force Klepto captured a unit created in 2022 to enforce sanctions against Russian oligarchs. I suspect that has something to do with Israel. The Guardian reported Task Force Klepto capture was launched during the Biden administration following the escalation of the Ukraine conflict. It was tasked with tracking and confiscating assets belonging to the Russian businessman Abramovich, for instance, and officials targeted by Western sanctions. According to the DOJ, since the founding of the task force, it was contribute to the seizure of $700 million in assets belonging to Russian businessmen and has accused more than 70 individuals of violating export controls against Moscow. So they say, know what we're going to do? This policy requires a fundamental change in mindset and approach. Why? America first, they tell us. No, my friends, the theft of Russian assets is a gross violation of international law, the Kremlin said. This is what they say. No, we have to focus on our domestic thing. So why did you, that's not domestic thing? No, the cartels affect us. What, the Russian war affects you, right? It's illegal, right? So why don't you keep it over there consistent? No, we're going to just leave those guys alone. The Russian oligarchs from London and New York and other places, and Switzerland, not the guys in Russia. No. The guys that Putin kicked out. Why? Because he says, come over here, I'm going to prosecute you. No, I got my money. Remember the 1991, those times when the guys in New York helped me to get your freaking resources. Putin said, come over, let's figure out how you started. That's what happens. That's why we have a war in Ukraine. Not because of the Ukrainians. Putin kicked them out, among other things. That's one of them. And Trump, after he held the chair to Bibi Netanyahu, remember that embarrassing thing? Now he decides, let those guys be the Russian oligarchs. Go and check them out. How many of them are Russian? Okay, go and check them out. We're not going to look at them. We're going to look at the cartels. What are they going to do with the cartels? Probably going to use our resources to solve another Stein's problems. The president of Steinbaum, is that her name? The new president of Mexico. So with our resources, we're going to solve her problems over there, right? If it's for good, it's for good. But it's selective justice. Selective. ICC, not good. The oligarchs are okay. I think I made my case more than I needed to. And if you think that what I said is false, I don't think it's false whatsoever. I don't say things here just to say them. All right. If you think this is false, well, prove me wrong. But with evidence, don't say, well, you're flimsy, you're this. I mean, this is not helping. All right. Everything I said here and the way I connected them should show you a little facet of how we the people are, and we are indoctrinated with falsehoods from the guys in charge of us, not our politicians. The guys in charge of our politicians are really the ones in charge of us. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.